Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to the showdown between the High Elves and Norsca here on Celestial Lake. It's going to be Renegade Moose with, oh man, ALASTAR the White Lion facing off. I always forget he's in the game now for multiplayer, but he is here. Facing off against Bostos and Norsca, who's going to be using two Trouser Snakes, which is a great idea. The Dreadmaws are excellent against High Elves if High Elves go with like static infantry lines, but if High Elves go mobility, they can certainly give the Dreadmaws some trouble. So the build, it's going to be ALASTAR the White Lion up on the Beast here, so he is going to be flying on a Star Dragon, and his abilities, he does have the Ruby Guardian Phoenix, which gives him flaming attacks, which is nice against some of the regeneration on Norsca. Also gives him fire resist that makes him immune to contact effects. So this is a god tier item against Nurgle, by the way. Being able to imbue fire to counter healing, and then also making yourself immune to poison. And it's an AoE, so if you're in a monster mash, very, very good. We got Kharadron. Kharadron is an incredibly strong anti-large fighter on his Frost Phoenix, very tanky with 51 melee defense. So he's going to have the Blizzard Aura as well as Attune to Magic, so not going to be bringing the tools to heal infantry. For Reavers, we do have some Chariots, Lion Chariots of Grace, and a Burning Headcaster in the back who was probably brought on foot on mistake. I feel like this was a mistake here, but Renegade Moose can comment and let us know. And yeah, Bostos' army is pretty solid. He just has a Shaman Sorcerer of Death with Spirit Leech and Buna. He does also have the Blood Tree Chimera and two Dreadmaws moving up. So Dreadmaws, again, if they can pop up on archers or static infantry positions, they're very strong. But again, some of the other tools like mobility, they can struggle. Although in domination, you can also just park them on a single objective. But then again, your opponent can just move to the other objective, and you're only going to have two wieners sitting here a little bit flaccid. So out of the gates, there's going to be some witchcraft going down here. We do see these are the Riders of the Mighty Serpent. So those are the Arawar Horsemen. They, of course, do magic damage with their javelins, which is nice in some matchups for sure. They're a good unit. Certainly going to be one that you see quite a bit. And Skin Wolves are going to be called out to try and deal with this mobility threat here. So out of the gates, Riders of the Mighty Serpent fleeing back and forth, throwing javelins at ALASTAR the White Lion, which is pretty cool to see him in play. Could have sworn he used to have a potion of toughness, but they probably removed that. So here comes the Dreadmaws. They're probably going to pop up and try and act as a deterrent. They do have range attacks, but the range attacks do very little damage. Usually they will not generate a ton of value in that way. So Norscan's getting shot at here. Kharadron is eating a lot of javelin fire here on the ground. The Marauders of the Mighty Serpent doing some good work. So Kharadron not happy about that. Did he bring his Mortis Engine? He did not. So not planning on getting him low. So Chariot's going to be coming in the side, and these are the Lion Chariots of Grace. Really, really solid anti-infantry chariots, and the Marauder Bearmen probably going to get run over pretty good as they do pile in, and the Bearmen are going to be getting the biz pretty good. Continuing to roll through, HP hemorrhaging pretty quickly, and the Riders of the Mighty Serpent going to be moving in, but so is ALASTAR the White Lion here. Now these snakes are probably going to pop up. Burning Head going to be activated. That's going to be a really good one right there. It's going to hit both Bearmen units and also go into the Javelins in the back, which are problematic for sure for the High Elves here, for Renegade Moose. But he gets away with his Chariots. Kharadron's still in the fight, which is a little bit dodgy for him, considering all the Skin Wolves and the Blood Tree Chimera, which is such a good monster. One of the better monsters in the game now, for sure. The Chimera is going to be attacking into the Mage. The Mage is brought on foot. Certainly feels bad, but ALASTAR could turn around and turn the tide of the fight, and I think that Bostos knows this and decides to run away a little bit, maybe try and pile in to surround Kharadron, but that Mage is now going to be escaping. In the meantime, Bostos is going to be going for the back objective and getting it pretty much uncontested. His two Bearmen will be grabbing that. But the Chariots will be rolling over to try and deal with that. But Kurgan Horsemen with great weapons. Yeah, that's a cool tech right there. So the Kurgans will be making their way over and are going to be securing Objective 1, fending off the Chariots, while we do see some Silverhelms going to engage against them. So High Elves farming value where they can. We do see the Chimera up in the sky getting attacked by ALASTAR. And Kharadron doing a good job on the ground, able to beat these Skin Wolves back. And the Mass Reavers looks like they're maybe going to try and dive past these Bearmen and get on top of the Archers. A little bit hard to tell there. Trouser Snakes do pop up. Do some okay burst damage against the Reavers, but the Reavers just move away and ignore them, so they will not be feasting too hard over there. Two Bearmen sitting on the back objective. High Elves going to be calling in more Silverhelm. So High Elves are allocating their entire army to this one fight, just trying to win out on value, hoping later on they're going to be able to steamroll. So we'll have to see. But ALASTAR doing a good job up in the sky. The problem with him is he's not going to have any healing. It's very sketchy to bring a big dragon without healing, but the Burning Heads are very good against Norsca, so it's a bit of a predicament to be in here. But he is battling the Chimera and will win. Currently, Kharadron's going to be popping up to help, applying the Frostfire. Look at that. Speed is down to 49, and the two big monsters really, really going to be shining here. So there they go, and there runs the Blood Tree Chimera. Trouser Snakes lurking in the earth here. In the back, we see Silverhelms awaiting, and it looks like Reavers and Silverhelms are going to be the primary call-ins here, as the Reaver Archer Corps stays in pretty good shape. And we do see the Dreadmaws looking for opportunities, but in the meantime, it looks like Kharadron is going to be soloing the Blood Tree Chimera, taking that thing down. And the Chilling Aura plus his Frostbite effect he has is very, very nice. So snakes burrowed back underground when they did see Alastair coming. Burning Head going to be activated from the Sorcerer. Probably not super necessary, but it will lead to a break on those Marauder Bearmen. And now we do see the snakes pop back up, so they're going to be emerging from the earth and attacking into the Reaver Archers. I do think that when a lot of people play against Norsca now, you're not really going to be seeing as many static gun positions or bow positions in general. It's very risky with Dreadmaws. But again, if you know the Dreadmaws are coming, you can certainly play around them. So Silver Helms charging in there, but going to be retreating, I would imagine. And over here, Caradhran did not finish off the Bloodtree Chimera, so very, very well played to Boss Toss there. He was able to escape with the Chimera, does pop the Perfect Predator, and now is going to be healing up while his Shaman Sorcerer just kind of cackles in the background. But here, a big victory for the High Elves as they do steamroll the Marauder Bearmen, and it looks like the High Elves are going to be on a mission to get their objective back, as the Lion Chariots of Grace are doing some excellent work running through these bad boys. Just the High Elves using all the combined arms here. I wonder if we're going to see any monsters call in. Probably not. I think the Murwookie might have some matchups, but this is probably not one of them. All right, so Alastair the White Lion jumping into the Kurgans. Kurgan Horsemen do high burst damage, but are incredibly squishy, so they are going to be folding up to Alastair pretty effectively, but the Skinwolves do come in. Burning Head going to be used in response to break the Beast of Tashnar. Very, very good use of the Burning Head there, as Renegade Moose going to be coming across with the Caradhran, as well as the Illyrian Reavers, and we do see the formation breaking for Norsca. Back objective is controlled by the High Elves, and the Lion Chariots are going to continue feasting on the Marauder Bearmen pretty easily, I would imagine, although the Chimera is lurking nearby. Looks like it's maybe going to try and jump on some of the Lion Chariots here. We'll have to see. But objective taken by the High Elves. Alastair and Caradhran are starting to really, really pull ahead here, it looks like. And the Trouser Snakes are trying their best, but they're really just not doing much. Kind of popping around, looking for opportunities, and not finding them, as the High Elf army is just incredibly mobile. It's kind of something similar that we found in some of the early Axis battles we had. For example, with Empire, using like War Wagons, if somebody indexes into double Dreadmaws, the War Wagons can really just outmaneuver them and then put the DPS down on them if you need to, or just ignore them if you want to. But the Chimera in the back doing quite a bit of work, and we do see the Silver Helms getting ready to move in. They will be lancing down the Bearmen, and they should be able to secure that objective, while the Chariot play from Renegade has been very good. Moving into the Marauder Bearmen, those guys are going to get Shadow Realmed right there. Up on the high ground, Illyrian Reaver is going to move into the Kurgan Horsemen, and the Kurgan Horsemen, with their very low melee defense, not going to like even fighting light cavalry. Alastair and Caradhran both in very good shape. And I'm not seeing too many opportunities here for old Boss Toss, because he does have a haggard old man as his lord, whereas Alastair on the White Lion, or on the Alastair the White Lion on the Star Dragon, gets a little bit confusing, is going to be more of a contributor as this game does go forth. Chariots coming back in. Bearmen should be getting broken relatively soon. They are ITP, of course, which is incredibly nice, but that's not going to stop them from getting run over by Chariots. Riders of the Mighty Serpent coming back in, as Alastair does crush the last of the Norscan resistance here. Star Dragon able to chase off some of the doggies, and now Alastair is going to be setting his sights most likely on the back objective where the Trouser Snakes are going for it. And this is good. I like this from Boss Toss, sparking the Dreadmaws back here and just using them to pop up and cause a little bit of havoc. All right, Bloodtree Chimera is chasing back the Lion Chariots of Grace, as Silver Helms continue chasing the Riders of the Mighty Serpent, and we do see Alastair maybe eyeing the back objective, because what are these, Ice Wolves going to do? They're just going to get run down by the Silver Helms and the Reavers, providing a lot of capture weight. Norsca doesn't have any pressure back here except a Kurgan, which is probably easily dispatched by the Horse Archers there. But Boss Toss does steal his opponent's home objective, so he is able to get his clutches on that. Nice ways to get back in the game here, as the Ice Wolves do get routed very quickly, run down by the Silver Helms, generating very little value in the process. That's another nice grab there by the Renegade Moose. Illyrian Reaver is going to be creeping back this way. Silver Helms and Spears are on their way up, and on the backside here we do see Silver Helms, which are pretty good against Norsca. I mean, if they get a charge on a Skinwolf, they can trade relatively evenly with them on the charge. Of course, if Skinwolves catch them out of the charge, it's pretty bad for them. They are a charge bonus unit that loves it with their 64. Caradhran is still lurking about. He is going to be a huge menace in the late game, and the Dreadmaws just kind of lurking underground mostly, popping up every now and then to defend that back objective. But the High Elves, I'm so used to seeing the Wood Elves in competitive games, do of course have the double cap on them. So the High Elves will be able to win pretty comfortably on 2 points here, and they are going to be passing on points. If two Dreadmaws do pop up on ALASTAR, they could potentially take him down. They do hit very, very hard in melee, with 400 weapon strength and almost 50 melee attack here. Of course, they're a little bit tired, so not going to be as high as it once was. But most likely, the Elves will be able to get their back objective back here. It looks like a huge onslaught of the Donut is coming. Caradhran and ALASTAR going to be going after the Phoenix, most likely. Not the Phoenix, the Chimera. Chimera is sitting at a pretty low amount of HP. It does pop its healing ability, but Caradhran is going to be getting up in the skies to deal with it. We do see the snakes pop up and do a little bit of staggering damage, but nothing terribly substantial. And yeah, I like the game plan from the High Elves. Just ignore the snakes. You don't really have to fight them. Back objective, Going to get run over by the Lion Chariots of Grace. Should be able to resecure that. Norsca probably going to be calling in waves of infantry, some Marauder Hunter Javelins, and Norscan Ice Wolves coming out, both of which are kind of vulnerable to the cavalry. And here comes ALASTAR getting in a little bit of trouble. Bostos, a very scrappy player, great at playing from behind, that's for sure. As ALASTAR does get away, 22 leadership. Caradron going to be trying to settle this grudge once and for all. And he does pin in the Chimera, who is on fire right now, which is going to be mitigating some of the healing. And ALASTAR might as well just move in and help, to be honest. Trouser Snakes pop up. Could this be the beginning of a comeback? As we do see the value gap being closed a little bit, with Caradron being unable to kill the Bloodshriek Chimera, which has been Benny healing pretty hard, and ALASTAR getting very low as well. And he is luring his opponent into a lot of Dreadmaw ambushes. You know, he's chasing this dirty old man here, and the old man keeps escaping and luring the Elven forces into those ambushes. Fireborn, a nice call. I do like that. They'll be good against most threats here. Dreadmaw's lurking underground as another Spirit Leech is activated on the White Lion. And the back objective now did belong to the High Elves, but is going to be flipping. Burning Head going to be activated. Very nice one. We'll see if it goes through the Kurgans too. Bostos with good micro is able to dodge that. All right. Caradron needs to put this game on his back. He really needs to get the kill on this thing and take it off the board here, because it still has a lot of room before its healing cap. So if he keeps letting it get those heals off, this thing is going to be a menace. And probably would be worth... No, it's not worth bringing in ALASTAR anymore. ALASTAR basically just needs to hide at this point and mitigate the leadership penalty. Dreadmaw is creeping underground. Fireborn going to be looking for opportunities. You know where the Dreadmaws are. You can always see where they are, so just avoiding them to the best of your abilities is going to be the gameplay here. As the Kurgan Horsemen with dual weapons coming in, Silver Helms will wreck the dual weapon versions. The dual weapon versions simply just have very, very poor tools for dealing with armor. ALASTAR getting attacked here. He is shaken at 700 HP, but he is able to defeat the Chimera, and it looks like that is going to be a tap out, as the Elves were maintaining the triple cap with the Fireborn there, and that is going to be victory. So Caradron and ALASTAR, cool to see those new High Elf heroes in action, and being effective against a top-tier player as well. And that's one way to deal with Dreadmaws. If you're really worried and you think your opponent's going to be trouser snaking you, you just pop up with a really, really mobile army, and you're going to mitigate their effectiveness very heavily. So this one probably got 700 value with its pop-up damage. This one maybe got like 900 to 1,000, just paying for itself, just barely. Chimera was good, didn't pay for itself, but it was just a huge damage sponge. And aside from that, the Chariot play was really, really nice from Renegade Moose. Great value there on that Lion, and the other Lion also did a great job. So yeah, awesome to see. All right, folks, hopefully you enjoyed this one. GG to both players, and we will see you all on the other side.